you know, you want people to enjoy the community, you know, and if we can't get out or we feel like it's inaccessible, we're not going to enjoy the community. So does that make us really residents of a community that we can't enjoy?
ADA stands for Americans with Disabilities Act, which was enacted in 1990 by Congress. And so in relation to what we do here at the city, we needed to provide public services and things like sidewalks for people in wheelchairs and other disabilities, to provide them with the access across town that everyone else enjoys. And we've, you know, I think the last number I saw was we've replaced over 400 ped ramps in Moscow over the last 15 years or so. And so, you know, we've done a lot of work and still got a lot of work to do. But I think we are slowly getting that access there for everybody.
I use this chair everywhere. It's like my bike. You know what I mean? And I'm using my chair to get back and forth everywhere, even to the grocery store. One of the biggest things I had to learn was just learning how to drive it first. I mean, when I first got in a power chair, you know, I was all over the place. And then once I kind of got the driving piece down, the speeds, the this and that, then you got to start thinking about what's the best route. With this particular power chair, when I hit certain bumps, it'll bump it and knock it off track to where I have no power for a bit. It will actually jar something loose. You always have to be mindful. You know, I can't walk out the house and just say, oh, let me put on my shoes, get up and go. Even though I know where I'm going, I still have to plan for certain things. Are the streets level? Is the traffic high? When I get to the business, will it be easy access for me to get in? There are a few restaurants I've been to that were inaccessible, and I just never went back.
I know I usually go over by the pizza place, because I usually know their sidewalk.
Toby Schultz also took us along some of his usual routes around Moscow.
No, I just go to the farmer's market on the weekends.
As we moved around downtown, he showed us some of the smooth new curb transitions. Toby maneuvered around a few obstacles, and then demonstrated some of the challenges of using older curb cuts.
Well, the old kind was kind of hard and stuff. They were a little bit steep. I'll show you the tricky sidewalk, the one that I was going to tell you about. It's this right up here, just a little ways. Kind of right past market time.
This one was ADA compliant when it was constructed, but does not feature more recent regulations regarding width and truncated domes.
Yeah, because sometimes I have to hit it hard enough, like, literally to go over it. Because sometimes I usually get stuck right about there and have to get like a good run at it sometimes.
Outside funding often plays a role in determining which projects get built.
Grant money is generally focused in a certain area. For instance, the Safe Routes to School program provided us with some grant money to update a lot of those sidewalks and pedestrian ramps around schools. Over by the Egan Youth Center with the D Street project at the middle school that we did. As far as giving students, you know, safe access to the school, kind of getting the vehicles, warning signs and lights to let them know when those kids are trying to cross. I thought that made a big impact on that area over there. Also at the Lena Whitmore Elementary School, We recently added 4 new ADA ramps along with some bulb outs at an intersection that was kind of a problem area over there. And I think that's really made a big difference as far as safety for kids getting to school.
Yeah, like this, I hate to use this analogy, but going on these type of, the newer curb cuts like this, it's like smooth like butter. Like, I don't have to, I can easily talk and wheel at the same time, or I can hold my daughter's hand and wheel at the same time. When I became paralyzed, she was 3, and I couldn't look her in the eye and say I can't, and not teach her to be an independent, strong woman as well. And so, granted, she was only 3, but you know, when a 3-year-old wants to go to the park, a 3-year-old wants to go on and ride her bike, a 3-year-old wants to go be active, well, you go be active, and you go get it done. Life is not stopped just because you don't have the ability to get up and walk around. Like, you can still go and do whatever you want to do. It's just a matter of planning. You can still get anything done. We go camping every year. I just went rock climbing last weekend. The hardest part is the uneven ground, or the big cracks in the curb will be higher than the actual ramp. So then you have to, when you're going downhill or uphill, you have to pop a wheelie to be able to make it over. When you first learn, they teach you in rehab how to jump curbs that high, and it's very intimidating and scary. But over practice, it's not as bad, but still a little bit intimidating. I don't think other areas or cities, I think that we're more of an invisible population, whereas Moscow, I don't feel that we're an invisible population. Like, people are out and about regardless of their mobility levels. People are out in the community, and I think the city does good with making them accessible throughout everywhere in the town.
I commend Moscow because they are listening. You know, the city, the people, everybody are listening. They're very accommodating. You know, you go to a big city, it's a lot of people, you know, so you may say something, you got to jump through 2 chains of command before something, you know, it may get heard. But
we always love to get input from the public, because, you know, essentially that's who we're building and designing these things for. You know, you can always just give anyone at Public Works a call. Primarily engineering and streets divisions would probably be the best to call to report a deficient sidewalk. You can also go to the city website and get on the engineering link to it. And there's also an online evaluation request that you can fill out online and submit. And that gets emailed out to several people who can look at that and send a tech out to determine whether it's a problem area and needs to be addressed. You know, anything you see out there, just let us know. We try to keep up on repairing everything we can, but ultimately we need that public support to help us know those problem areas and keep making Moscow great.